The Space Marines continued their solemn work, the air heavy with the aftermath of battle and the weight of their losses. Captain Zavus stood atop a rocky outcropping, his keen eyes scanning the horizon for any signs of remaining Tyranid forces. Satisfied that the immediate threat had passed, he activated his Vox-Com. "All squads, report in," he commanded, his voice carrying the authority of centuries of combat experience. One by one, the surviving squad leaders responded, their voices tinged with exhaustion and grief. The casualty reports were grim, but the Tyranid threat had been decisively crushed. Sergeant Talon approached, his armor bearing fresh scars from the recent battle. "Captain, the apothecaries report that gene seed recovery is nearly complete. We've salvaged what equipment we can, but..." He hesitated, his voice lowering. "Many of our vehicles are beyond repair." Zavis nodded grimly. "We'll make do, brother. We always have." As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the blood-soaked battlefield, Space Marines gathered for a solemn ceremony. They stood in formation, heads bowed, as the chapter's chaplain intoned the litany of the fallen. Each name was spoken with reverence, a promise that their sacrifices would be remembered. With the ceremony complete, Zavus addressed his warriors once more. "Brothers, we have paid a heavy price for this victory, but we carry with us not just the memory of our fallen, but a mission that may be vital to the Imperium's future." He held up the artifact containing the star chart. "This relic points to something of great importance. We must uncover its secrets." A murmur passed through the assembled Marines. Sergeant Talon stepped forward. "Captain, with our reduced numbers and limited resources, such a mission would be perilous." Zavus's eyes blazed with determination behind his helmet's lenses. "Indeed it will, brother. But we are Space Marines. We do not shrink from peril. We face it head-on in the Emperor's name." He turned to the Technomarine who had been studying the artifact. "Brother Ferrum, what have you learned?" The Technomarine's mechanically augmented voice crackled through his Vox grill. "The star chart appears to lead to a system far beyond the borders of known space, Captain. It will be a long and treacherous journey. Then we shall be prepared," Zavis declared. He began issuing orders with practiced efficiency. "Squads Talon and Marius, you'll form our vanguard. Brother Ferrum, I want you to extract every scrap of data from that artifact. The rest of you, secure our remaining vehicles and prepare for immediate departure." As the Marines moved to carry out their orders, Zavis gazed up at the darkening sky. Somewhere out there, beyond the veil of stars, lay their destination, and perhaps the key to safeguarding the future of the Imperium. Whatever challenges awaited them, he knew his brothers would face them with unflinching courage and devotion. "For the Emperor," he whispered, "and for those we've lost, we march onward." As the combined force of salamanders and their newfound Blood Angel ally began their journey back to the Raptor airships, the mood was somber yet tinged with a sense of purpose. The Marines moved with practiced efficiency, their heavy power armor clanking rhythmically as they traversed the rugged terrain. Captain Zavus fell into step beside the lone Blood Angel, studying him with a mixture of curiosity and respect. "Brother," he began, his voice carrying over their private Vox channel, "I don't believe we've been properly introduced. I am Captain Zavus of the Salamander's 3rd Company." The Blood Angel turned his head slightly, his ornate helm gleaming in the fading light. "I am Brother Sergeant Raphael, formerly of the 4th Company of the Blood Angels." There was a note of pain in his voice as he added, "Now it seems the sole survivor of my strike force." Zavis nodded solemnly. "Your brothers fought with honor, Raphael. Their sacrifice will not be forgotten." He paused for a moment before continuing. "I know you wish to return and recover your fallen, but I must ask, will you consider accompanying us on our next mission. We've uncovered something that could be of great importance to the Imperium." Raphael was silent for a long moment, considering the offer. Finally, he spoke, his voice resolute. "I will join you, Captain Zavus. My chapter will understand the necessity. But I swear by the blood of Sanguinius, I will return for my brothers." "Of course," Zavus agreed. "We'll ensure you have the means to do so." As they continued their march, the Marines around them engaged in quiet conversation, sharing tales of the battle and honoring the memory of their fallen comrades. Sergeant Talon approached, his heavy bolter slung across his back. "Captain, brother sergeant," he greeted them. "The scouts report the path ahead is clear. We should reach the Raptors by nightfall." "Excellent work, Talon," Zavus replied. He turned to Raphael. "Our tech Marines have been working on modifying the Raptors for extended voyage travel. It seems the Emperor's hand guides us towards this new mission." Raphael nodded. "The Emperor protects," he intoned. "Tell me, Captain, what exactly did you discover in that ancient structure?" Zavus began to explain about the mysterious star chart and the potential implications of their discovery. As he spoke, the Marines continued their steady pace, the distant silhouettes of the Raptor airships gradually growing larger on the horizon. The sun was setting as they finally reached the landing zone. The massive shapes of the Raptor airships loomed before them, their engines humming with barely contained power. Tech Marine Ferrum was already there, overseeing the final preparations. "Captain," Ferrum called out as they approached, "the modifications are complete. The Raptors are ready for voyage travel, though I must warn you it won't be the most comfortable journey." Davis clasped the Tech's shoulder. "Comfort is a luxury we can ill afford, brother. You've done well." As the Marines began to board the vessels, Zavus turned to address them one final time. "Brothers, we leave behind a world cleansed of the Xenos threat, but at great cost. Carry the memory of our fallen with you, for their sacrifice lights our path forward. We journey now into the unknown, guided by the Emperor's will and the mysterious chart we've uncovered." He raised his power fist high. "For the Emperor, for our chapters, and for the Imperium of Man." The assembled Marines roared their affirmation, the sound echoing across the barren landscape. As one, they boarded the Raptors, ready to embark on their perilous journey into uncharted space. The engines of the airships roared to life, kicking up dust and debris as they slowly lifted off. From the command deck of the lead Raptor, Captain Zavus watched as the battle-scarred planet fell away beneath them. Ahead lay uncertainty, danger, and perhaps answers to questions they had yet to even ask. With a final burst of power, the Raptors broke through the planet's atmosphere, racing towards the waiting battle barge in orbit. Their mission to defend this world was over, but a new, potentially greater challenge now lay before them. As the Raptor airships docked within the cavernous hangar bay of the battle barge, the Space Marines disembarked with practiced efficiency. The echoing sounds of heavy boots on metal decking and the hiss of decompressing airlocks filled the air. Captain Zavus immediately began issuing orders, his voice carrying across the hangar. "Third and fourth squads, begin repairs on our equipment. Fifth squad, assist the Tech Marines with the Raptor maintenance. The rest of you, get some rest. We'll need everyone at peak efficiency for what's to come." As the Marines dispersed to their assigned tasks, Zavus turned to Brother Sergeant Raphael of the Blood Angels. "Brother, our apothecary will see to any injuries you may have sustained. Follow me." Zavus led Raphael to the medical bay, where the chapter's senior apothecary, Brother Caelus, was already preparing for the examination. The Blood Angel's red armor stood in stark contrast to the predominantly green hues of the Salamander's equipment. "Brother Raphael," Caelus greeted, his voice calm and professional, "please remove your armor so we can begin the examination." As Raphael complied, Zavus turned his attention to other matters. I'll leave you in Brother Kaelus's capable hands. Once you're cleared, find me on the bridge. We have much to discuss. Elsewhere on the ship, Techmarine Ferrum had sequestered himself in a data cogitation chamber, surrounded by humming cogitators and hololithic displays. The artifact containing the star chart sat on a specially designed examination table, bathed in the soft glow of analyzing units. Ferrum's augmented eyes whirred as they focused on the intricate details of the chart. Fascinating, he murmured to himself. Stellar configurations suggest a region far beyond the Imperium's current cartographical records. There's something else, some kind of embedded data I can't quite decipher yet. Meanwhile, the rogue trader who had accompanied them from the planet's surface was escorted to guest quarters by a squad of armed marines. The quarters, while comfortable by naval standards, were clearly designed to keep the occupant contained and under observation. You'll remain here until the captain decides what to do with you, the squad sergeant informed him gruffly. Food will be brought at regular intervals. Do not attempt to leave or access any ship systems. As the door sealed shut behind them, the rogue trader sat heavily on the provided bunk, his mind racing with the implications of what he had seen on the planet's surface and the potential value of the information he now possessed. Back on the bridge, Captain Xavus stood before the main view screen, watching as the stars streaked by. The weight of command pressed heavily upon him, but there was also a sense of anticipation. Whatever lay at the end of this star chart's path, he knew it would be a challenge worthy of the Adeptus Astartes. Plot a course following the coordinates from the artifact, he ordered the helm officer. We journey into the unknown, brothers. May the Emperor light our way. The massive engines of the battle barge flared to life, propelling the ship towards its mysterious destination, carrying within it a force of elite warriors, a lone blood angel, a cunning rogue trader, and the promise of discovery that could change the fate of the Imperium itself. The massive battle barge hummed with activity as final preparations for warp travel were completed. Throughout the vessel, crews secured equipment. Tech Marines performed last-minute rites to appease the machine spirits, and Space Marines retreated to their quarters for prayer and meditation. On the bridge, Captain Xavus stood before the command throne, his eyes fixed on the swirling void displayed on the main view screen. The warp tear that had brought them to this system loomed ahead, a jagged wound in the fabric of reality. Navigation, status report, Xavus commanded, his voice carrying the weight of centuries of authority. The navigator, a hooded figure with the third eye glowing faintly beneath his cowl, responded in a raspy voice. The astronomical's light is weak, Captain, but detectable. The warp tear appears stable enough for traversal. We await your command. Xavus nodded grimly. Very well. Helm, take us in. May the Emperor protect us all. The bridge crew murmured prayers as the battle barge's engines flared to life, propelling the massive vessel towards the shimmering tear in space-time. As they approached, the ship's Geller field hummed with full power, creating a protective bubble of real space around the vessel. Just before they entered the warp, Xavus made one last attempt to contact their home chapter. He activated the long-range Vox and spoke clearly into the transmitter. This is Captain Xavus of the Salamander's 3rd Company to Nocturne. We have completed our mission and are en route to investigate a matter of utmost importance to the Imperium.